Hi there, welcome to the channel or welcome back. I'm Angela, and today's video is going to be the first hashtag Friday Sews video I've done in a very long time. If that sounds interesting, let's go. Hi all, thanks so much for stopping by today. I'm so glad that you're here. And I haven't done a Friday Sews video in it seems like months, probably several months, maybe getting on a year now, give or take. I can't remember. I'll have to look that up. But I kind of have missed doing these. And I thought, well, let's just kind of jump back into it every now and then. I miss just chatting with you guys about how the week has gone. I love reading your comments about how your week is gone. And I do have some sewing related things to share with you and a couple of life related things, but it's mostly sewing this time. So that's quite the twist for me anyway. If you see my last couple of videos, you may know that I'm trying to do a few outfits to take on vacation with me later this year. And I have one finished, one outfit. It's a pair of culottes and a top. And the next thing that I'm working on is this Kwik Sew. I'm doing the hoodie right there. Now this pattern does call for a knit fabric, and I am using a woven carefully. And the fabric that I had originally chosen for this was this textury, I think that this is rayon. I'll put it up on the screen what the content is, but it's got some heft to it, nice weight. So I thought that it would be perfect for that little a hoodie. I call it a hoodie, but it's not. It's more of like a dressier hoodie. It's not like a sweatshirty type of hoodie. It's just a nice little cardigan that happens to have a hood on it. So I thought that this would be perfect. And I got my pattern pieces adjusted. By the way, thank you so much to all the great comments on, I think it was my last video where I had made a muslin, tried it on, and there was still some fit issues. So I got a lot of good suggestions and tips from you guys. So I made a second muslin, did some adjustments, and finally cut it out of the fabric that I'm going to use instead of this. And now I'll let you know why I'm not using this fabric that I so wanted to use. Part of it has to do with there's just not enough yardage. If you see this, they had given me extra because it was seamed there right off the bolt. You guys see that rough seam there? But even given that, there's not enough here to do the front, the back, the long sleeves, and the hood. And since I want the hood and I want the long sleeves, I knew that this wasn't going to work. And I was a little disappointed, but I knew that there was pretty like at least 50-50 chance that I wouldn't have enough of this. So that's just how it worked out. And I'm really trying to use some fabrics that I have. So I looked through my stash and I came up with this. And again, I'm drawing a blank on what this is. This might be a cotton blend, but it's a gauzy material. It feels like gauze, and it has that crinkly texture that a gauze has. But it also, the coloration, it's got like stripy colors, like a lighter gold and a darker gold. And I don't know if that's the way that it's woven or if there are actually two different colors of yarn there, thread. I think it's two different colors. Well, it's kind of hard to tell. I'll put sources up for, I know that this fabric is long gone. I'll put sources to any of these fabrics in the description below. I know that this one is long gone. This was like a remnant piece that I got at Stone Mountain a couple of years ago, or maybe last year. This is gone. Otherwise, I would have ordered more to have the hoodie out of this. I love this so much. And I just had that vision in my head of this taupey colored hoodie with the texture, and it was going to be so perfect. I'll find something else to make with this. But this one I'm thinking might still be available. I might still end up needing to take it in here at the shoulder seams a little bit. What I'm going to do is to, out of my fabric I was using for the muslin, to make the sleeves, like the first rough draft of the sleeves out of that, and then pin it on or baste it onto here just to see how it's going to fit. before I cut into my good fabric. But I think this is going to do nicely too, because it has some, drape to it, so it ought to do pretty well. And by the way, what prompted me to even make this is, and to choose these textury type of fabrics that I'm choosing, I saw a hoodie in, I think it was the J. Jill store. I showed that in a video recently. I'll put a link to that up here, that video, or down below. And there was a gauze hoodie in the store, but it was a heavier weight gauze. It reminded me of this, like the fabric really had some heft to it and nice drape. So, and it had that crinkly texture to it, and I love that so much. Because it was in the J. Jill store in the mall, it was not inexpensive. So I thought I could make that, and I looked through my patterns and found this one, which is pretty similar enough. I'm going to show you the line drawings. This is kind of an older pattern, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if there is a date on here. Maybe there is. I'm not seeing. Seems like there would be, because the whole envelope is intact. Maybe I'm just missing it. But for some reason I'm thinking that it's... Well, wait a minute. Copyright MM. So doesn't that mean 2000? It's right down there. So if that's the case, it is kind of an old pattern. I think I found it on eBay or something like that. So that's my whole premise and desire behind wanting to do this hoodie, and out of wanting, a textury, gauzy fabric. The thing with using this is it kind of is a little more limiting on what I can wear with it than this. But this color is one of the colors in my color palette. So as I'm sewing and choosing clothes that are kind of aligned within my color palette, the more they all kind of go together, which is really nice. I'm really, really loving that aspect of sewing within a color palette. Almost everything really does go together, at least decently, if not really, really well. So trying to figure out some, I already had, I had grand plans for doing a vacation capsule, and now I'm seeing that that's just going to be too much. So I'm kind of just backing it down to, if I can just make a couple of vacation outfits, I'll be happy with that. So I do have some fabric that looks lovely with this that I am going to make this knit skirt out of. And the fabric, I already have the fabric. It is this here. I want to say I got this from Style Maker as one of their salvage yard remnant pieces. I'll see if they still have it and link it below. It's just a jersey knit. It feels like maybe it's a cotton blend, but I'll put that below too, or up on the screen. But I thought that it goes so well with my little hoodie, because it has a lot of that that mustardy or gold in it. And I think that I have enough of this to do this skirt. I'm not sure which version I'll do. Definitely one of the longer skirts if I have enough. And here are the line drawings for that. So I'm kind of, I'm really excited that these will pair up nicely, and just, I'll just wear like a tank top underneath or something like that. And I kind of, as I was looking back through my fabric stash to see what else I have that goes with this or with that, or kind of in the same family, I came across this piece of very, very thin jersey that I bought a while back. It is so thin. I had put it in my donate pile, because I don't know if this is going to show up, but can you guys see my face through this? This is super thin, not anything that I would use to make a garment out of. And so that's why I was going to just donate it. But then looking at it, it seems like it goes so well with this. I thought what I could do is to make like a shawl or something out of it, or maybe a swimsuit cover up. It might be perfect for that. So I'm kind of rethinking this one, maybe going to keep it and see what I can make out of it. And I want to say that when I washed this after I got it, shortly after I got it got holes in it just because the fabric was thin or poor quality or something like that. But now I'm going to try to revive it and give it a chance at a second life. I probably will not link this one below because I got it so long ago, and I'm not even sure. It might have been from Fabric Mart, but I can't remember for sure. So either way, I think it's going to pair up nicely with this, just as a lightweight, summery shawl, or see what I can make out of that. And I came across the pattern from Ellie and Mac that it's called the Free Spirit Shawl or something like that. I'll put a picture of it up here. And the pattern was pretty inexpensive. It was marked down, so I went ahead and downloaded that pattern, and I think I'm going to make this with that. So that is what's been going on here in my sewing room this week. I'm getting jazzed up now that I don't have the pressure of trying to make like 12 pieces to take on vacation. Like, oh, all I have to do is make a couple of outfits. Like, now it's fun again because there's not that hard-hitting pressure that feels like gotta get it done, gotta get it done. What are you guys up to in your sewing room this week? And in life, it's been pretty quiet, not a whole lot going on. I'm still pretty busy in the garden. I've got some extra projects that I'm trying to get done out there that are taking up my time, but they just need to get done. So I don't know if you guys are aware, I do have a smaller channel here on YouTube just about my garden. I feel like I don't put as much effort into that when I'm out there doing stuff in the garden. I'll try to film it and throw it up on that channel. If you guys are interested in that, the link is below. It's definitely much, even though I've been doing that channel, I've had that one for a lot longer than my sewing channel. I just have never really put too much effort into it. It was always just meant to be hey, here's what I'm doing in the garden. And so it's kind of fun, and it's kind of been a way for me to document my garden as it's grown over the years. So it's fun to look back on the older videos and see how the garden has grown, figuratively and literally, I guess. So I'm just spending time out there. We are finally getting a break from the extreme heat wave that we've been under, like probably a lot of the country has been, the US. So it's been nice to have temperatures just in the 80s Fahrenheit rather than the mid 90s. Even though I like the heat overall and I prefer hot weather to cold, there comes a limit to even what I can tolerate, especially combining it with the humidity. So we're getting a little bit of a break, which is nice. And we finally got some rain this week. It had been a couple of weeks with no rain. When combined with the 90-degree temperatures, that is not good for a garden. So we're finally getting some relief there. And I did have lunch on Tuesday with an old friend of mine. We worked together. She was actually my boss at my job that I had before. I was with that company for 18 years, and off and on a couple of times she was my boss when I worked there, and we've stayed friends. So it's good to reconnect with her. And she just got a puppy about a week ago, a 10-week-old Bernese mountain dog puppy. So her 10-week-old puppy is already 30 pounds. He was so cute and so sweet. He's going to be a big boy. So it was really, really fun to visit and get to meet her new puppy. And that's about all the excitement that I've had this week. What are you guys up to? Let me know what's going on. I love to chat with you. And other than that, I hope that you'll come back Monday for another round of Monday Matchup. For anyone who hasn't seen the Monday Matchup videos yet, it's where they're just little shorts on YouTube, like less than 1 minute, where I pull a random sewing pattern out of my stash and share it with you guys and read what the suggested fabrics are and ask you guys to tell me what you would make it out of if you were going to. So matching up the pattern with a fabric is what it's all about. And it's been really fun to read your responses. Some of them are like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I would make it out of. And then other ones are like, oh, I never thought about that, but I think that would work out fantastically. So check that out. It comes out every Monday morning here on YouTube. And for my next long video, which will probably be later next week, I hope to have this finished to share with you guys. So fingers crossed that everything turns out well with this hoodie. I am going to deviate the hood a little bit. So I forgot to mention this. If you look at the hood on the line drawings, hope that's coming in clear for you. It's just, a simple hood with a seam, down the center. What I think I'm going to do is to split the hood into 3 pieces and have like 2 seams going down. I made a jacket a couple of years ago and the hood was designed that way. And I loved the way that the hood turned out on that, and it laid so much more nicely. So I've pulled out that old pattern. It's way over there on my table. It's a McCall's pattern, I think. Yeah, I'll have to look it up and put the picture up here. But the way that the hood is constructed, I fell in love with it. And come to think of it, the model, the inspo garment that this is modeled after, that hood was a 3-piece hood. So I loved it, and I think I'm gonna try to alter the hood to be that way, as if I need more fiddling with this thing. It's rare that I make something where I actually make 2 muslins for it, and I try to get away with not making a muslin at all unless it's something that's a little tricky or complex, or if I'm going to be using a fabric that I just love and I don't want to wreck it. So I'm glad that I did make the muslin with this just to work on the fitting issues. So that's about it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and all the days that you do. I hope that you have a great weekend, that you get some sewing in if that's what you're interested in doing. Otherwise, I will see you Monday. Bye.